Hey guys, it's Tatiana with Back to Facts. I'm an award-winning journalist, and I just wanted to show you how you can look up the database of all unarmed Americans as well as all Americans who have been killed by police, who have been shot and killed by police. So every year it's about 1,000 people. Raw numbers, there are more white people than black people or Hispanic people shot. Now, look at this chart. They're showing black in orange as the tallest, but the raw number is 1,318, whereas the raw number of whites is double that, almost double that. So what are they doing? They're trying to show that the proportion of people shot by police who are black is much bigger than the proportion of people who are black in the United States. Now, this is a problem. However, what they're leaving out is they're leaving out the fact that poverty is much higher. Poor health because of poverty is much higher. Unemployment is much higher. And all of these things that are systemic. Education, much, much, much worse in areas where African Americans, black Americans live. Okay, so you go to the bottom of the database and you see 356 people shot and killed by police in 2020 who are unarmed. You see there's a filter. You can press the filter, and I'm going through here now. Tyler Hayes was a white boy in Chattanooga. I wrote about him. He was shot in May. Oh, that page was not found, but he was shot in May. Now, they did include a picture, but they did not say police shoots unarmed white man. They never do. The rule in journalism is to not reveal anyone's race unless it is relevant to the story. You could make a case that if an unarmed black man is shot and killed by police, that it is relevant to the story. But I would submit that it is irresponsible to then not go and state somewhere in the article when a white person is shot by police unarmed, because what you're doing is you're creating division. And so there's a lot of misconceptions that I'm seeing on social media about this. People are thinking that police, mostly white police, even though there are a lot of black and brown police who have gotten caught up in very, very unfortunate, unnecessary situations. Anyway, so this is a guy, this happened not too long ago, in May also, Sean Furr. He had I believe he had a pretty long rap sheet. He was, he'd been beating his girlfriend and baby mama in Seattle, then took her to a hotel and kept beating her. The baby was there. Then the cops came because she called them. Then he started fleeing police. He was holding his 1-year-old, and the police shot him. And Carmen Best, the police chief at the time, said that they were afraid for the life of the baby. Well, then the NAACP in Seattle came and said that, he wasn't trying to harm the baby, but that is all well and good in hindsight. What I am trying to tell you is that if you go to this database and you read the stories of the white Americans, it is a very similar situation. One man was resisting arrest. One man in Florida, Tampa, I couldn't even figure out his race because they had no pictures, but he was choking out a female officer and was shot and killed. I believe he was white, but I had to search long and hard to see the race of some of these people. So you can see now, Nicholas Bills, unarmed 36-year-old white man, shot on May 1st, San Diego, California. This guy was schizophrenic, and his family said he was extremely afraid of police. So this sounds, in a way, kind of like Elijah McClain in Colorado, who just didn't hear the commands. He had his headphones on, and then he even told the police he loved them, and they gave him a shot of ketamine, and it's unconscionable, but it happens to white people too. And the media isn't telling you that. And why do I care? I care because I'm seeing our country torn apart. And what I'm seeing is that there are police who are acting with ignorance and a lack of training. And there's no excuse because we've known about this for a very long time. This is not just something in the Trump era. Fred Brown, 34, shot in Las Vegas. For the life of me, I could not find the race of this man. Now, just from, perhaps I could guess. Fred Brown, you really don't know, but he had a baby mama, and that's not necessarily only a black thing, but, similar thing, domestic situation. The woman herself called police, and incidentally, this is exactly what happened in Kenosha, Wisconsin. So the video is about to end. I could literally not find a picture of this man who was shot in Las Vegas on April 23rd. Similar situation to Jacob Blake in Kenosha, because they were actually serving a warrant on Jacob Blake, and he walked away and, refused to listen to the commands. Said apparently they knew he had a knife, but either way, I'm a mother, and anyway, we'll talk about that later. Just, we need to be smart, and please don't let our nation be torn apart. Please, please, we have to have the complete picture, because if you do any amount of research, just a little amount of research, go to this database, explore it, use the filter, and see that we are all in this situation together. I personally think that a lack of funding is actually one of the main reasons for unnecessary officer-involved shootings. And that is because, number one, they have to fill quotas and they feel pressure to arrest. And so they have encounters with vagrants, mentally ill, autistic people, and also, unfortunately, Black Americans and people who have multiple warrants. There was a woman named Hannah Fizer in Missouri, and she was 24 years old, and she apparently worked at a convenience store, and she had a DUI from 2019. I just happened to do a search and find that out. They stopped her. I don't remember why they stopped her, but she resisted arrest. She was filming them. She was angry, and I don't know I can't remember exactly what happened, but she was white, Hannah Fizer. And they had protests. Did you ever hear about it? No. Now, perhaps the balance of the universe does need to tilt toward putting in the media shooting of young Black people and Black males. However, there seems to be this purposeful narrative to show that, or to try to show that, police are hunting down young Black men. But the problem is so much bigger than that, and it really comes down to prosperity. So people want to burn the capitalist system down, but they've never even seen how free market and competition can work, how taking pride in your job and having a good job available and being accepted and hired for that job is the antidote. It's almost the entire antidote. So those are my thoughts today. Have a good Friday, and please explore the database at the Washington Post. I will leave the link in the description below. Thank you.